In the annals of automotive history, there are tales that transcend mere transportation and delve into the realms of innovation, spectacle, and even a touch of the supernatural. One such legend is that of the Pontiac Ghost Car, a marvel of engineering and design that captivated audiences at the 1939 New York World's Fair. Nestled within the General Motors Highways and Horizons Pavilion, alongside visions of futuristic cities and fantastical inventions, this transparent automobile stood as a testament to human ingenuity and the boundless possibilities of technology. Conceived during an era brimming with optimism and rapid technological advancement, the Pontiac Ghost Car was more than just a showcase of transparent panels and sleek lines. It was a symbol of progress, a tangible manifestation of the future imagined by visionaries like Bel Geddes, the renowned designer behind the fair's ambitious exhibits. Crafted in collaboration with the pioneering minds at Rome and Haas, the chemical company responsible for the revolutionary plexiglass material, this transparent marvel embodied the fusion of artistry and innovation that defined the automotive industry of its time. Back in 1939, the Highways and Horizons Pavilion by General Motors at the New York World's Fair impressed visitors with its visions of the future. Created by Bel Geddes, the man who designed the future, the Futurama exhibition foretold the communities and transportation systems of 1960, many of which became a reality. These glimpses into the future included inventions that, at the time, seemed like magic glass that bends the frigotherm that cooks and freezes at the same time, and a talking flashlight transmitting speech over a light beam. Sharing the spotlight with these visions was the Pontiac Ghost Car, the first fully sized transparent car ever made in America. A transparent motor car, the first ever constructed in the United States, is the most striking of the Fisher Body Division exhibits at the GM Highways and Horizons building at the New York World's Fair, stated the original 1939 press release. Created to show the rigid interior bracing and other features complete with windows that can be raised and lowered, doors that can be opened and closed. The only material lacking being the insulation normally applied to the inner surface, working with a new material, a synthetic crystal clear plastic. Known as the Pontiac Ghost Car, the transparent automobile was constructed based on the Deluxe Six four-door touring Pontiac sedan. The show car was built by General Motors in partnership with Rome and Haas, the chemical company that created the plexiglass, and had a total construction cost of $25,000. In the model, the plexiglass created an exact replica that replaced the outer sheet metal. To give it a cleaner look, the structural metal underneath featured a copper wash, and all the hardware was chrome-plated. The tires and the rubber moldings were all made in white, adding to the sterile aesthetics. A second model was constructed for the 1940 Golden Gate Exposition display. After both show cars traveled to different Pontiac dealerships in the United States where they were displayed, the 1939 vehicle was loaned to the Smithsonian Institution during WWDI, and it was then auctioned in 2011 for $308,000. The cars were shown in many promotions and were often seen in magazines. Overall, the cars were made to showcase everything that goes behind the production of a car, especially in a time where the automotive industry was thriving. In an official release, Pontiac Motor Division stated, "It shows at a glance the hidden value built into Pontiac cars." By 1939, America's domestic automotive industry had started to truly mature among the middle class, with many families now owning at least one car. Looking to capitalize on the upward mobility of the consumer market, General Motors commissioned designer Bel Geddes to build a unique automotive display for the famed 1939 to 1990. The display was called Highways and Horizons, and it focused on how automotive was going to help move the country forward. It was something that people had talked about for years after the conclusion of the World's Fair. Bel Geddes worked with the late artist Dean Cornwall, who had designed the great-looking mural that was a part of the fantastic-looking display. Another GM commissioned display that turned heads during the World's Fair was Pontiac's highly unique all-plexiglass 1939 show car, also known as the Ghost Car. The Ghost Car would later find its place among some of the more innovative pieces comprising Pontiac's great automotive heritage. Later, the car would make the rounds for the company for special events and promotions. The model was constructed of 100% acrylic plastic and based on the Deluxe Six four-door touring sedan with the 6-window styling features. The show car cost $25,000 to construct and was built by General Motors. Some automotive historians, however, have said that the Fisher Body Colorado, working in partnership with the chemical company that manufactured the plexiglass material Rome and Haas, most likely built the Ghost Car body as a joint effort. The special plexiglass show car was great to see and admire because it is a part of our automotive history and culture, and most importantly, the model still exists today, recently selling for $308,000 at auction. General Motors also constructed a second model for the 1940 Golden Gate Exposition display that many visitors thoroughly had enjoyed. Later, both show cars were shown and displayed at Pontiac dealerships nationwide. The highly unique show cars were loaned to the Smithsonian Institution shortly after the outbreak of WWII. The original 1939 press release circulated by GM stated this about the highly unique show car, a transparent motor car, the first ever constructed in the United States, is the most striking of the Fisher Body Division exhibits at the GM Highways and Horizons building at the New York World's Fair. Created to show the rigid interior bracing and other features, complete with windows that can be raised and lowered, doors that can be opened and closed. The only material lacking being the insulation normally applied to the inner surface, working with a new material, a synthetic crystal clear plastic. The fully transparent bodies also showcased the inner workings of the vehicles, so as automotive enthusiasts were able to see all of the mechanical and engineering features of Pontiac-designed cars. The models had white rubber wheels along with white painted metal parts or parts that were plated in chrome, copper, or nickel. The Pontiac show cars were used in many promotions and were often seen in national magazines. Pontiac Motor Division stated, "It shows at a glance the hidden value built into Pontiac cars." After its World's Fair appearance, the Smithsonian Institution kept the Pontiac show car on display from 1942 to 1947. By the late 1940s, however, the styling on the car had been deemed old and obsolete by the viewing public, and the exhibit was changed. Later, the show car would be old and resold to a number of Pontiac dealerships, mostly for the promotional value. It first went to the H.H. Pontiac dealership of Gettysburg, PA, and in 1962, it was sold to another Pontiac dealership and later to a car collector by the name of Don Barlup. In conclusion, some automotive historians have said that Pontiac's Ghost Car is credited as the first transparent car in America. Today, this unique show car is still a very rare model and a great conversation story for many Americans.